Well, Australia's property market remains in flux following the federal budget, with auction clearance rates bouncing back slightly this week to 58% after plummeting to just 50% last week. Experts say changes to negative gearing and capital gains tax have dented buyer confidence, particularly among investors. Supporters of the new policy say the changes could give first home buyers a better shot at cracking the market, while critics warn a shrinking investor pool could push rents even higher.
Yeah, let's get some more. We're joined by journalist Suzanne Mostyn and science communicator Dr. Matt Agnew. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Suz, first up, is it a sign the policy might be working as investors hold back a bit?
Morning, guys. I think actually that it's a case of waiting and seeing. There's a lot of circumspection at the moment of people who clearly don't really understand. None of us really understands the ramifications and the effects of these new changes. They are so controversial in certain sectors, but also they are radical. And so I think a lot of people, because property is often based around confidence and emotion, if you have a collision of those two things, of misinformation online, poor government messaging, the government really needs to do a lot better on teasing out all the finer points of how these policies will affect every single person, from first home buyers to investors to renters. That hasn't been done. So while ever that's the case, people are going to be saying, you know what, I don't know. Like the gambler said, I don't know. Do I hold them? Do I fold them? Do I walk away or do I run? This is the problem that the government's having with messaging. And we're not going to see many changes until July 1, when the first policies start to roll out. And then over time, we will see a trend. But at the moment, I think people are scared.
With a nod to Kenny Rogers there.
Thank you, Kenny. Great job. Thank you.
Dr. Matt, house prices have been rising so fast for so long. What do you think about a slowdown is perhaps necessary, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this was very much the intention of the budget, right, to kind of slow down growth and potentially decrease a little bit to give first home buyers a chance to get the foot in the door. And the fact that it's sort of investors that are pulling back as well, again, that was very much the intent. It's not to kind of collapse this market, but to give an opportunity for first home buyers. So to Suze's point, I think, yeah, there's a bit of murkiness there. I think some people aren't quite clear exactly what it means for all of those people, first home buyers, investors, renters. But I think overall the intent of trying to give an opportunity to first home buyers, we're starting to see that materialise. So I think it's a good thing overall.
Some people might say, though, very hard for first home buyers to save up for a deposit when they're having to pay maybe $200 or $300 more a week in rent. You're taking with one and paying Peter to pay Paul.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you save up?
Yeah, it's always going to be a challenge. These things are still really far out of reach for some people, but I think this is still a positive step. I think, yeah, as exactly what Sue says, there needs to be a bit more communication, especially on that rental front, because as you've articulated, it is challenging to build a deposit under those conditions.
Yeah, and really hard when you're already working 9 to 5.
Oh, that was Dolly. We're bringing Dolly.
Yeah, I thought I'd put Kenny and Dolly in the same philosophical program.
See, I was an island in the stream, Larry. I was still with Kenny. I was still with Kenny.
Just out of curiosity, can you negative gear an island in the stream? Let's move on.